Good afternoon and welcome back to Dr. Logic Awkwardly Does Logic. Take 7 of this video because, pro tip, make sure that you log into Zoom and check that the whiteboard hasn't been upgraded since the last time you used it before you start recording your video. Anyway, in this video, I'm going to prove to you the lemma that I mentioned at the end of the previous video, namely, in S5, every well-formed formula, whether it's a theorem or not, is equivalent to a formula of at most first degree. That means that either it has no modal operators at all, propositional logic is still a part of modal logic, or it has at most one modal operator scoping over something that has no modalities in it. So let me get up the whiteboard that works now and show you how to prove this. So the lemma is every well-formed formula of higher modal degree, so 2 or bigger, is, and there it starts messing up again, there we go, is reducible to a first degree width. Now, not only am I going to prove this, I'm going to give you a method that actually does the reduction. So this is a constructive proof that I'm going to give. So what we're going to do is use a bunch of equivalences that we already have. Some of them are propositional, some of them hold in K, but some of them are going to be specific to S5, and that's why this is something that we can prove in S5, but not a weaker logic. So you've got your formula, which is of higher than first modal degree, and you want to reduce it. The first thing that you do is convert all occurrences of phi implies psi to its equivalent, not phi or psi. So now we don't have any implications. This is nice because we have a whole bunch of negations and disjunctions, and these allow us to do De Morgan's. So what you want to do next is apply De Morgan's laws. The law of double negation, so of if you've got 2 negations, just get rid of them. And modal interchange, so that you get rid of any negations that occur before a diamond, a box, or a parenthesis. So we do this to remove all negations that occur before diamond, box, or that. So they're all going to now be attached to individual propositional atoms. Next step, reduce all iterated modalities according to the S5 reduction laws. So if you've got 2 diamonds in a row, that goes to 1 diamond, 2 boxes goes to 1 diamond, a box and a diamond goes to a diamond, a diamond and a box goes to a box. However many of these you have, you always end up just with the rightmost one. Now, check to see if your well-formed formula is first degree. If yes, you're done. Hurrah! You've gotten what you needed. If no, this means the only possibility that you have left, so you've got something that's not in first degree, it doesn't have any iterated modalities, so it has to be the case that you've got some modality that is inside a parenthesis and another modality that is outside. So you're going to have something where it's, come on, whiteboard, work. So what you have is something of the form box phi or diamond phi, where phi is complex, it's within some parentheses, and contains box or diamond. Now, because of step 1, we know that this complex formula doesn't have any implications in it. It's either a disjunction or a conjunction. Because of this step, we know that all of the negations are attached to the atoms. because of this step, we know that there is exactly one box or diamond. This means that we have something of the form necessarily phi or possibly psi, necessarily phi and possibly psi, possibly phi and necessarily psi, or possibly phi and, sorry, this was supposed to be a box. They were supposed to be different. So there we go. These are the only possibilities that we have left. Now, two of them are very easy because of equivalences that we already had back in system K. So we know that box P and Q is equivalent to box P and box Q. So in this case, you distribute your boxes, get rid of that one, and then reduce your iterated modalities so that you are down to just box phi and box psi. That's first degree. We also know that, goodness, I got this one just entirely wrong. Let's give this another go. Because there's more possibilities that I had forgotten about. Let's list them all on a nice, fresh, new page. So either we've got a box and it scopes over a conjunction, which has either a box or a diamond. Now, there could also be other things over here, but what matters is we know that something in the conjunction looks like this, but these could also be disjunctions. There we go. And so those are those possibilities. We also have the same possibilities on the other side, that either it's a possibility of a conjunction where one of the conjuncts is modalized, or it's the possibility of a disjunction where one of the disjuncts is modalized. Those are the options that we have. Now, the useful K theorems that we have, the K equivalences, are that necessarily P and Q is equivalent to necessarily P and necessarily Q. And we also have that possibly P or Q is equivalent to possibly P or possibly Q. That allows us to deal with this case, this case, this case, and this case, because what we do is we distribute the modal operator across the propositional connective, and then use modal reduction to throw away the ones that we don't need. What we have now are the really super important ones that I gave you 2 videos ago, 3 videos ago. Anyway, recently enough that hopefully you still remember them, these S5 distribution ones, which say that if you have a possibility of, or sorry, a necessity of a disjunction and one of the disjuncts has a modal operator on it, then you can do distribution. So you can't generally do this in systems weaker than S5, because if P or Q is necessary, say P or not P, this doesn't follow that either P is necessary or not P is necessary. Bad reasoning. But in S5, if one of the disjuncts is already modalized, then you can do it. So we have this equivalence, and we also have the equivalence for, possibility distributing over a conjunction. So this gets us possibly P, possibly Q, and then the corresponding ones for the other operators. So if we also look at where this is diamond, then this is going to be diamond, and where this is box, this is going to be box. So remember these equivalences, I proved them a few videos ago. These are the ones that allow us to take care of this case and this case. So now, okay, I'm just gonna get rid of the whiteboard for now to talk through where we're at. We had something that was not a first degree, and therefore we knew it had to have one of these sorts of these embedded modalities. We can use these fancy S5 theorems to reduce those. So now we've got something that is of 1 degree less. So hopefully you can see that from what I've stopped sharing with you. So then the next step in the proof is, are we at first degree? If we are, hurrah, we're done. If we aren't, go back and do that same step again, because the only way that you could not be in first degree is if you have an embedded modality. Go back and use either the K theorems or the S5 equivalences to block them out. And you just keep doing this. And eventually it will stop, because your formula that you're working with is finite. There are a limited number of symbols that you have. So at some point you will have applied this last step enough so that now you no longer have any embedded modalities left anymore. And your formula, which had started in degree greater than 1, now is in degree 1. QED. Now this video has gotten a bit long, so I will save giving examples of how this works to the next video, but it's a really cool process. Go ahead and try it yourself. Write down a random formula, start reducing it, see what happens, put your answers in the comments. Happy to check your work. And if you're uncertain that you're doing it right, hang around for the next video and we'll take care of it then. I'll walk you through some examples. Until then, take care. Cheers.